Moin Leute und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge What Remains of Edith Finch. Wir sind beim letzten Mal stehen geblieben bei Molly, beziehungsweise wir sind bei Molly jetzt fertig geworden. Vergesst auf jeden Fall nicht, dem Ganzen hier ein Like und einen Daumen da zu lassen und halt ein kostenloses Abo, würde mich echt freuen. Und ja, würde ich mal sagen, dann machen wir weiter, ne? Let's fetz! Ja, so, zu.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Genau, die ist ja gestorben. Wie sie gestorben ist, könnt ihr gerne in der letzten Folge nachschauen. Unten ist auf jeden Fall alles verlinkt zu dieser Folge. So, und wir gehen jetzt hier raus. Alles klar.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Okay.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Ja, so kann man halt Promi werden, ne? So schnell
Even in her
geht es.
90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Alter, was ist denn das denn für ein Badezimmer? Ja, wie geil. Sowas bitte auch.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Ja, rosa Farbe.
It was a pretty big trace.
Ja, das ist eine sehr, sehr markante Spur. Und auch das hier ist verklebt. There's a secret in this bathroom.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Wieder zurück? Oh, cool, danke. Es geht sogar.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington, 'Washington' send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Ja.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Cool. Gehen wir mal weiter. Oh. Oh mein Gott, wie cool ist das denn? Einfach ein Secret. Einfach ein Gang zu diesen Kindern. Alter, lol. Schon heftig. Schon geil.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Sam und Calvin.
And that he never talked about him.
Das ist so geil. Ich will das
I guess
auch.
my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Ah, jetzt kommt Calvin. Okay. Wollen wir doch mal.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Soll ich... Oh mein Gott, ich soll das jetzt selber jetzt machen.
My brother said he'd
Okay.
die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, he swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam, Calvin, dinner's ready. Coming.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Oh nein.
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Nein. Ach, bitte nicht.
I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
Och nein.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Och
That's what I
Gott,
want to remember
ist
about my brother.
das heftig.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Oh nein.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Boah, das ist heftig, ey. Ich weiß, wir wollten einen Todtest machen. Aber, ja, von der Zeit geht es noch. Können wir noch einen noch machen.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Oh, ist das heftig, ey.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Hä? Hast du gesprochen? What the fuck? Ey, die Mechaniken hier in diesem Haus, das ist so geil.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Oh, mal einen Shortcut geöffnet, jawohl.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Ah nee, ich will nicht wieder rein. Stopp, stopp. Nein, 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 nein. Pfui, aus. Komm, geh raus. Ich will das nicht. Ich wollte nur wissen, was es ist. Ah, okay, jetzt sind wir bei Barbara. Barbara. Happy Birthday. Yeah. Oh, dieser Kuchen, ich glaube, der ist schon ein bisschen verschimmelt. Die Barb Street.
I
Geil,
never
Mann.
thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Dann wollen wir doch mal.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Was dürfen wir jetzt machen?
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Okay, das steuere ich jetzt gerade. Also steuere ich hier, ne?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Geht weg! Ich hab was in der Hand! Warte mal, kann ich... Boah, Alter, Junge!
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Nochmal. Excuse-moi, was soll denn der Scheiß?
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might
den-
not be over yet.
Den Tisch muss er mir aber zahlen. Ne? Also. Und damit kann ich mich schneller fortbewegen, das ist cool. Wo ist er hin?
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Und jetzt wahrscheinlich von hinten dann.
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
You were wonderful. The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now,
Oh
that's
mein
what I
Gott.
call a real eerie tale.
Im wahrsten Sinne des Wortes.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Alter, heftig. Ja, Mädels, damit sind wir schon am Ende dieser Folge schon wieder angelangt. Wir haben heute 3 Leute ihre Tode aufgedeckt. Ja, es war wieder sehr, sehr wild. Und sehr, sehr heftig. Besonders mit Calvin. Ja. Ich würde sagen, das war es jetzt, wie schon gesagt, an dieser Stelle. Lasst ein Like und eine positive Bewertung da. Und dann würde ich mal sagen, dann sehen wir uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Bis dahin. Haut rein. Ciao, ciao.